the Lord gave me the vision of every Christian a soul winner on 25th of May 63. So 2023 is 60 years. So we celebrated the Diamond Jubilee of that vision. Nigeria is not a nation. Nigeria will never be a nation. A nation is a group of people with common culture, common language. Nigeria is a country of 645 ethnic groups. I'm a member of Partnership for Bible Translation and Evangelism in Nigeria. I have the list in my book, the 645 tribes. In the first place, we are not practicing democracy. There are 645 tribes. Members of the House of Rep are 360. That's about half. We are 645 tribes, and then you have 109 senators. Who are they representing? So we are not practicing democracy at all. And then we are where we are today. With due respect to everybody, Nigeria was not formed by God. God allowed Nigeria to be formed. Frederick Lugard did not go to any church in Nigeria to ask about formation of Nigeria. He was a mercenary from India and Sudan. He had no regard for the church, and so he was not guided in the amalgamation. So and God does not create countries. He creates ethnic groups, nations, and he has put a language barrier to govern that nation. So, I'm sorry to say, Nigeria was conceived in iniquity. Nigeria was gestated in iniquity. Nigeria was born in iniquity. Nigeria was nurtured in iniquity, and we practice iniquity. So that's it. And the Bible says once the foundation is wrong, what can the righteous do? I don't know whether you have a question on what I've just said.
And I think that is actually the question. What can the righteous do? If this has been wrong, what is the solution?
Is to go back to recognize that all ethnic groups belong to God, and that we can be in the country together with mutual respect, with peace flowing between the groups, and then we can live together. We need each other. But when a group comes and believe they are superior to the others, they are going to have a problem. Not with man, but with God himself, their creator. Because God did not create any tribe, any ethnic group to be inferior or superior to another one. Because all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So that's our problem. Now, then you find out that the word used for us is called amalgamation. That's a chemical word, a chemistry word. Amalgamation is when you take two metals, you melt them and mix them together to form an alloy. Like alloy wheel of a tire. Like solder for soldering iron. To amalgamate two metals, you need heat. So we were forced together to become a country. And whether we like it or not, before rapture, all amalgamations are going to break down to original ethnic groups. Look at the one that amalgamated us. Scotland has its own House of Assembly, Wales has a House of Assembly, Northern Ireland, and England. In fact, Scotland would have gone away, but they didn't prepare enough. You remember the time they did it? Because God has never created a country. He has created nations. So if nations are to form a country, let it be willingly. It was the British that forced us together. The British conquered the south, Calabar to Lagos. They call it Southern Protectorate. Lord Lugard used 200 soldiers to conquer all the 14 Hausa states. Lord Lugard discovered that with 200 soldiers, he couldn't rule. But on the ground was the Emirate system by Usman Dan Fodio. And that one, his writings in Sokoto are still subject of master's and PhD thesis. People are going there to read. And what the North had above the Southern is that they had writing. We didn't have writing, so we couldn't have a written record we can refer to. So when Lugard saw that, he said, look, what we want from these people? We just want tax. Let the emirs bring the tax during Salah. Let the emirs rule as they've been ruling. So we call it indirect rule. I hope you understand. But in the south, from Calabar to Lagos, Southern Protectorate, the white people took over the ruling of OBs and Obas. They devalued them. And then Lord Lugard told the missionaries not to evangelize the Hausa and the Fulanis, and also that the white DOs, district officers, should not tamper with the culture of Hausa and Fulani. If they tamper with the culture of Hausa and Fulani, we would have had ranches, mechanized farming for cotton and groundnut in the north. But they left them like that. But the southern district officers brought cocoa from Brazil to west, rubber to Midwest, then oil producing palms to south and southeast. So that by 1914, the total export of the north was 373,000 pounds sterling. Are you getting it? Then the Southern Protectorate, their total export was 4 million pounds sterling. The North couldn't pay the civil service, so the white district officers sent to London, Whitehall, colonial office, that we need money to pay civil servants. Our export is not enough. So the surplus from the South was used to augment the budget of the North. Then the colonial master asked and said, for how long are we going to have two countries, Southern Protectorate and Northern, running together? One with surplus budget, one with deficit budget. Join the two together so that the South can serve the North. Because for 5 years I was reading history of West Africa. I'm a zoologist, but I love history in the US. Because the things I was learning, I've already taught 3 years in ABU. So it was, academia was no problem for me. So, do you know, then another colonial master said, what if in the future, the South wants to break away, knowing that they've been cheated? You know what the colonial master said? Concentrate all military institutions in the North, encourage Northerners to join the military, discourage the Southerners. And that's what you have today. So, but oppression does not last forever. And oppressors don't last forever. But the oppressed will bury the oppressors. So until we have mutual respect for each other. Do you know that even at amalgamation, there were only 6 people that signed the document? One lawyer, Jasa, from Lagos. The Emma of Katsina, Emma of Kano. Then the one from Calabar. Representing nobody. They are the one that signed the terms of amalgamation. And some people say cancel history. Because if people know the history, they are going to be enlightened and they will agitate. That's why they remove history from syllabus. When I was in primary school, I learned about Alexander the Great, Leonidas, Napoleon. In primary school, I knew history. But in Nigeria, they demolish history so that people will not know how we came together. And some will say, it doesn't matter how we came together. Let's just continue. No, you can't do patch. Once the foundation is wrong, the righteous can't do much. We need to restructure. We need to go back to the structure of Nigeria before the coup of January 1966. We had regions. There was healthy competition between regions. Chief Awolowo had television. Azikwe had television. Sadana Sokoto had television. Is that not so? Zik started in Nsukka, Awolowo started Ife, Sardauna started Ahmadu Bello. So there was healthy competition. But the coup came and destroyed the regions. It destroyed the region. Do you know that Southwest Nigeria was the best governed region in the whole of Black Africa? And up to today, Southwest Nigeria has more lawyers than other countries in Black Africa. And Southwest Nigeria is first, but now that has been quenched by destroying the regions. So we can't make it unless we go for restructuring. And incidentally, in 1986, General Ibrahim Babangida, the military president, started a political bureau headed by Professor Ojo, who was an Ogbon Shaman. We met in Lugar Hall, and I presented my paper, and I said, Nigeria will not know peace before, during, and after presidential election unless we stop doing executive presidency. Because no matter how good a man is, if he's taken from one of the 6 regions, the other 5 are not likely to like him. And that doesn't help. So I now suggested Presidential Council. I traveled with a Swiss from Abuja to Lagos, and I asked how they govern there. Do you know Switzerland, sir? Switzerland has French, Germans, and Swiss. If you are doing one man, one vote, no Swiss will ever be president of Switzerland. So what they did was to have 3 Swiss, 3 German, 3 French in a presidential council. Then they rotate the chairmanship and distribute the other portfolio to them. And it's working. The Prime Minister of Mongolia came to Nigeria. He said democracy is democracy, but the form of democracy you practice will be the one that is good for your people. I don't know whether you're getting me. Let's now, so quarreling about whether underage or people from Mali are voting in Nigeria, that doesn't matter. We are asking Northwest, give us a vice president. North Central, vice president. Northeast, vice president. Southeast, one vice president. South, one vice president. Southwest, one. Then the 6 of them will meet in Nassau Rock. And then chairmanship will be rotated every 2 years. You know the advantage of that? It means a regime will be 12 years long. Any policy you have on education, health, and agric will last for 12 years. Policies are changing every 4 years. So you can't pull a policy through because the new president after 4 years is going to disband what you have done. But when you have that continuity for 12 years, then everybody knows that my man is in Nassau Villa, then we'll have peace. If you make me executive president today, I will write an executive bill that we want executive council. I can't see myself ruling 645 tribes. I mean, it's crazy for anybody to desire to be president in Nigeria. The problems are too many. Let people share your problem along with you, then you live long. Another thing worrying me is that there are some tribes in Nigeria that have never taken part in governance since 1960. There are 645 tribes, and then you keep saying Hausa, Fulani, Igbo, Yoruba. There are only 4. Do you know that those 4, they constitute about 55% of people in Senate? 4. And when you go to House of Rep, they are the same people there. So I suggested that apart from Presidential Council, we need People's Popular Parliament, where every tribe will vote 3 people. And then let's say 645, let's say 700. 700 times 3, that's 2001. China has a council of advisors of 3,000. And instead of war with Jojo. So if a tribe has a quarrel with another tribe, you do it there. Then everybody's in governance. But for one tribe or 2 tribes to say that they are in charge, it won't help Nigeria. The structure cannot allow it. We have to restructure. We have to send some ministry back. Do you know that during the regional government, agric, education, health, but held by the regions. Federal government just has security, communications, external affairs, internal affairs. That's what they were holding. But now, people are sitting rigidly, and the center is over-concentrated. And then one thing we don't know is that a government is not to take part in business. A government is to produce conducive atmosphere where business can be done. I'll give you an example. During Babangida era, didn't they start mass transit? Where's mass transit today? ACNNTV, Chuku. Those are the ones working. We had Nigerian Highways. Where are Nigerian Highways? The private, because private sector is they want to do business. The government is to provide atmosphere and then help them out. You know, I'm riding a Honda Jeep. It was given to me by my disciple when I was 70. And somebody who's schooled in South Korea said, the government of Korea is very proud of Kia and Hyundai. They are the ones that produce that. You know, they are efficient, they are tough. If they want to fold over for lack of money, the Korean government gives them plenty of money just to keep on lifting, because those two cars are the ambassadors of South Korea and Nigeria. Who knows South Korea? So government has a lot to do for us. It has a lot to do for us. And China says, if you want to develop a people, give them roads. Do you know that there's only one express road in the whole of Nigeria, Ibadan to Lagos? It doesn't pass through any major town. It just went through bush. You'll be seeing other towns on the hill. The other roads in Nigeria are following cities. They are social roads. Can you imagine having 4-lane roads between state capitals, straight? When you come across River Bill Bridge, when it's a hill, pass under the bridge, the hill, or call the bridge a hill. The people, the natives in the bush will have access to the road. So Nigeria is not difficult to rule, but then the people there is selfishness. They are more concerned about their family even more than their tribe. As security, what happened in Ofa showed me that the form of security we have is not working. We say we are copying America. Do you know America has no American police? They have one. It's like mobile police that will suppress insurrection in any of the 52 states. They send them there. I've forgotten the name now. General Abacha wanted it. Now, do you know in the US, they have state police where only state citizens are recruited. Then you have local government police where local government people are recruited. Then you have city police. When I was in Bangan at the celebration of 25th year of coronation of the Olufi of Bangan, I sat with the civil defense commandant for the town. I said, do you know in America, you'll be city police. What we are calling civil defense. Arm them. They become the city police. I mean, no stranger can enter a town. A city policeman will know this man is a stranger. What happened when about 6 people robbed about 8 banks in Ofa? When they arrived, they went to a hotel and were drinking, smoking and all that, making noise. And the manager called the DPO and said, excuse me, there are some people here, send people to investigate them. Do you know immediately those people got there? Those bandits, they said, waiter, give them beer. So they gave them a carton and then they gave them money. So they didn't report anything. Do you know the following day, the day they were to do operation, they went to the police station and killed all of them. If among those policemen were Ofa people, he knows he has a wife, he has children to defend. No, you can't bribe him because it's his town that is defending. So you find out that the present security system, unless it's in the hand of the local, it can't work. I met a man near Echo Bank in town. In town. When I saw him, I knew he was not a native. So he stopped me, so we greeted. I said, where are you from? He says, from Saminaka. Saminaka is 50 miles to Jos, 50 miles to Zaria. So here is a policeman, a married policeman, who won't see his wife and children for about 3 months. He's emotionally tense. Do you know that when, let's say, 5 native boys are coming towards him, he's already fretting? Do you understand? He doesn't understand the language of the people. He doesn't know the terrain of the people. So he's going to be wild. He doesn't care whom he kicks and whatever. So we have to take care of that security at the local level. In America, the state has a senate. So I'm saying that from the 3 senatorial districts, elect three people. Then they monitor so that the governor will not concentrate all development to his own senatorial district. Because those senators, 9 of them from the 3 senators, will monitor what the governor is doing. So we need that. And then go to local government. You know they have vote for local government. Then we need to have city council. We need to have city council. America has mayor. It's the mayor that appoints the sheriff. Sheriff now employs the people to be in the city police. So our democracy is not working. It's not good. We need to have presidential council, people's popular parliament, then state senate, then town councils, so that the local government will share the allocation to the towns in the local government area, and then they will know, the town council will know what to develop and what not to develop. The Bible says Jesus, full of the Holy Spirit, was led into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. So what can you say about that one? My kidnapping had preparation. 3 weeks before my being kidnapped, I was reading Selwyn Hughes, Every Day with Jesus. He had a series of articles on wilderness experience for everybody, from Genesis to Revelation. That everybody comes to that. Even Hagar had that wilderness experience when she ran out of water. Abraham and Sarah had that wilderness when they didn't have child. So I was reading and I realized that everybody has to go to wilderness experience if he's a true believer. Because that's when your level of Christianity will be weighed. When you either dismiss Christianity or continue. And then the other thing, I hate to say this, is that I was in communication with all the bishops of the Anglican Communion. So they knew me. And the 12 of my students who are professors, and 10 of my disciples who are archbishops, bishops, and Jews of various ministries. One of them was celebrating his 30th year in ministry, starting from Sunday, 26th of June last year. And I know that if I didn't go for the 30th anniversary, I won't be able to make the 40th, because that's 10 years plus my age. So that will be, so I must do something. But the Wednesday of that same week, I had my annual Church Growth Conference here. Wednesday 20, that's 25 Saturday, 26 Sunday, 27 Monday, 28 Tuesday, 29th of June, I had my meeting here. So I now said, okay, I will run to Lokoja, where my partner in evangelism was celebrating on Saturday, minister in his church on Sunday, and then on Monday, do a workshop and come back. So I was going, everything was okay. And then, when I got to Obajana, where Dangote cement factory was, they told me that they were repairing a bridge on the major road. There's a diversion. So it was at that diversion I took. I just had AK-47 shot. Then they broke the hand screen of my car, banged on the door, removed my shoes, removed my trousers. It's only the top I was wearing for 6 days. No bath and all that. So when that happened, I thought it was African magic. When I realized it was true was when the sharp stones, because there are about 6 mountains between Obajana and Okene, and we are going on the mountain. So I now realized this is, and I was groaning. They said I shouldn't groan loud, so our police will not trace them. So I followed them, and then we trekked for 1 night in the bush at night, 8 o'clock. So we got to a place, just flat rocks. So they said, this is where you are sleeping. So I stayed there. Then there were 7 of them with 7 knives, 7 matches, 3 AK-47. So they used their knife to cut the plastic cover for dog chain. They removed the dog chain and tied my 2 legs together and held it. So I now had 2 of them on my side for the night. Then the next thing I had to do was, I had to ask the Lord, is this the end of my pilgrimage? The Lord said no, that it was not the end. So that gave me hope. Hope led to faith. Faith led to love. In our human relationship, it's love first, faith, and hope. But in our relationship with God, it's hope, faith, and love. So when the Lord gave me that hope, my faith increased that I'm not going to die in the forest. So my faith increased, and then my love for my kidnappers also increased. So before I went to bed, I asked God for 4 strengths. The first strength is physical strength, that I must not fall sick. If you fall sick, they will end your ministry by shooting you. Then I told the Lord that when you were in the wilderness, you didn't eat for 40 days. I'm not going to stay 40 days here, but as long as I'm here, I will not eat. So for the 6 days, I didn't eat. Because I tried eating with them. They were eating beans and rice. And to me, it tasted like stone. So I told the Lord I was not eating. So I have for physical strength, not to fall sick, and to survive not eating. The next thing I asked for was emotional strength, so I won't be sad. And I was not sad. I didn't have self-pity. I was not saying, see me, a whole professor inside bush. It didn't bother me. And I didn't have low esteem. I still had myself. So, because I didn't want to appear sad to them. In fact, one time they asked me, are you enjoying this place? I said, not at this age. That when we were in the Boy Scout, we used to go and camp. And we just do a tibaba. We just make little tent with branches. And we sleep there from Friday till Sunday night. So it's no big deal, but not at my age. So I asked for emotional strength, not to feel sad, not to feel defeated. Then I asked for intellectual strength. And I told the Lord that you intellectually discuss with Satan. I want to be able to discuss intellectually with my kidnappers. Then I asked for spiritual strength. So, and the Lord gave me emotional strength, so I overcame. When morning broke and they saw my age, I said, remove the chain. There are many of my mates have died. I'm not afraid of dying, but I won't die here. Remove the chain. Only you know the path to the place. Where will I run to? So please remove it. I won't run because I'm not afraid of dying, but I will not die here. So they removed that one. Then I asked them one by one, what were you doing before kidnapping? One said he was a thief. Another one said, I had cows in Zamfara State. Bandits stole my cows, so I need to recover. Yeah, so we were chatting. I asked for their states. I said, do you know I've been to your state? Then I mentioned some of the time. So we became friendly. Then the one sleeping on my left said, it's only the first night they slept with me. They left me alone after that. He said, the reason why we attacked you was that when you left the light checkpoint and entered Bajana, the security man called them and said, a big man is coming and he's riding a big car. That's why mentally, I don't like traveling with the Jeep. Because I thought only Prado and Land Cruiser are big cars. I didn't know my teeny weeny Hyundai is also a big car until I bought the Toyota. Toyota is so small compared with it. I ride Hyundai in town, but I ride Toyota to travel. I don't want that stigma that is a big man. They say, but you're a big man. I say, yes. By Nigerian standards, I'm a very, very, very big man. But big man does not make money. I'm a retired teacher, and teachers don't have hand into money. Because they scroll through my phone, and they complain that they were expecting big mansions, trailers, tankers, and because they said I'm a big man. So I told them that yes, I'm very big book-wise. So that's that. So anyway, the Lord gave me that intellectual strength. Then I advised them. I said, when you get gray hair like me, you won't want to come to the bush. Change your ways. When you get this ransom, go and plant cucumber, cabbage, carrot, and watermelon. You make money. But at my age, you won't come to this bush. So they took that. Then for spiritual strength, I asked that I want to dominate the area. Because I'm standing where Jesus was. And so I said, in the first place, there will not be wild animal. 2, there will be no serpent. And there will be no scorpion. Because between 2 o'clock, I don't know whether you've noticed in Offa, between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m., your legs will be cold. So it was in trying to put my leg under the rock that I broke the toe, my third toe. So I told God that. Then one day it appeared it wanted to rain. So what happened? They brought some tarpaulin and covered us. So the following day, I told the Lord that I have only the top of the senator. I don't have trouser, only boxer. And the if rain should fall on me, it's my body heat that will dry the cloth and I will have cold. So one cloud gathered again the following day, and I sent the cloud to Okene to go and rain. So it went to Okene and started raining there because I'm in charge. So, and then because they were technological alert. Because when they took my phone the first day, I told them to go back to the car. They will see power bank. They say I shouldn't worry. During the day, one of them was carrying mobile solar panel. Their lamp was very bright in the night. So and then there were some mountain tops that had MTN signal, and there are those that didn't have MTN signal. So we have to trek. When they wanted to talk to Bishop, we had to trek to that mountain, and after we trekked back. Then the whole of this place was sore. The toes were sore under. So 2 of them would carry me by the shoulder. They started calling me Baba, Baba. Then one time they called the bishop and said, don't worry about ransom. Sell Baba to us so that I can be a Baba in the bush. So that was it. So I told them, I said, look, we are going to meet again, but we shall meet in the same hope and faith and love. Because, I mean, they were in love with me and I was in love with them. So then also, I prayed to God. I said, look, you want Laban not to molest. No, it's okay. You want Laban not to molest Jacob when Jacob was running. Whatever language you want to speak to them, tell them not to hurt me. And they didn't hurt me. So God was very faithful. And what I enjoyed most in the wilderness experience was relationship with Christ. It was okay. They told me that, they asked me, what's my religion? I said Christianity. They left it at that. They didn't want discussion on religion because they too, in 6 days, they didn't even do ablution. They don't care. It's money they want. It's a religion. So I told them, I teach hope, faith, and love in God. You know, for 6 days, I didn't have my bath. For 6 days, I didn't eat. And it was like that. The DPO and the bishop, they could trace me. You know, our government are so dictatorial. If they told us that NIN is for you, that wherever your phone is or you are, people can get you on GPS, then people quietly go and register NIN, because the DPO and the bishop knew where I was in that forest. Because the GPS, you know, it will show you one red thing. So they knew where I was. But I told the kidnapper that they shouldn't worry. We won't involve the police in this. That then they said they get too many calls from Europe, Americas, Asia, Africa, and Nigeria trying to talk to me. So one time they gave me, so I said, please don't talk to me on this phone. If you have anything to say, talk to the Bishop of Ofa. Because some are getting angry with kidnappers that have not released me. They are almost cursing them. I said, please don't talk to them. I'm with them now. Don't talk to my kidnappers. Talk to my bishop. And so it was. They started by demanding 100 million because they thought I was a big man. So they reduced it to 80 million, then to 70 million, then to 40 million, and finally 15 million. So that was that. And then 288 people contributed money for my release. My boys' church in Port Harcourt gave 2 million and then also lent the bishop 1.5 so that I could be released quickly. A member of our Anglican church gave 2 million. So I wanted to erect a pillar to write their names. You know what the Lord said? How about the people that prayed that money will be collected? Is that those people are more than the people who gave the money. And it's their prayer that moved their pockets. So I didn't worry. Because I don't think those 288 people are waiting for me to say thank you. I didn't even look at their name, but I just thanked them. And then, so we were there. So one night, the boy that used to, okay, the worst experience I've ever had in my life was that night when my leg was tied together with a chain, and then the boy with the car in Zamfara was holding the chain. Do you know from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. they were smoking Igbo? So I became a passive smoker. My lung was filled with Indian hemp. Do you know that the following morning I had hallucination where I thought the rock I was sleeping on was turning at 100 kilometers an hour. So I was shouting that they should come and hold the stone for me. They were just laughing at me. Johnny just come. Doesn't know what it was. Do you know when they released me, I was swallowing 10 tablets morning, afternoon, evening for 1 week just to clear my brain of Igbo. Can you imagine? I didn't smoke cigarettes, but I was a passive smoker. Because they were blowing their own out, I was taking it in. So that was that. So the boy said, "You are going, Baba, you are going home tomorrow." So and I said, "No, I'm not going home." He said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to hospital." I said, why am I going out tomorrow? He said, my people are bringing 15 million for them. In fact, how did they know that I was kidnapped? Before I left Obajana to go to Lokoja that night, I told Bishop John Ibenu, my disciple, who I was going to celebrate with. So he said, Johnny Mercy, sir. I said, amen. Do you know that when they hear from me again till 12 midnight, he called that I must have been kidnapped. And then in the morning, the police went to my jeep. Everything was there. They didn't take anything. Then when I go to church, you know, they give out church bulletin. I put in the Bible and I put it on. So they now called Dr. Faremi that the owner of this Bible and this car has been kidnapped. So that's how they knew how to. The bishop came, Dr. Faremi came, Venerable Fadipe came, then MP, you know MP, Philip, he was the one. Whatever the bishop spoke in English, he spoke in Hausa for the reduction from 100 to 80 to 70 and all that. So they came. Venerable Faremi was supposed to come, but the road was bad. He couldn't bring his car. And nobody could bring car because there was no road. The only road that we saw was this timber truck where there's grass in the middle and 2 lanes for the tires. So now, when they were coming, they had to hire an Okada man for MP Philip, the missionary partner. So himself and the Okada man carried 2 bags of money. When they were coming, the Okada man asked Philip, what are in the bags? And Philip said they are little pamphlets want to give churches in the bush. So that's it was only then they warned, I think they must have warned them over the phone that when they hear a shot, they should stop and trek on the motorcycle towards us. To trek from that bush to the road took about 2 hours. I was in pain, but the kidnappers carried me by the armpit and shoulder. They carried me. So we were waiting for the people. Do you know, from the motorcycle to where we were took 1 kilometer. So now the Okada man, they brought the bag. So they dropped it. When they unzippered it and poured the money, it was 15 million. They counted it, so they closed it. Then they handed me over to them. Now, how to get to the motorcycle, which is 1 kilometer away, was a problem. So Philip carried me on his back. When I was tired, Okada man carried me. When both of them were tired, they said we just have to, so they held me by the shoulder and we have to trek. So when we got there, Okada man sat in front. I was in the middle. Philip was behind. So I was sandwiched. That's all. Do you know when we got to civilization, I saw 2 Dangote cement trucks parked, facing. Do you know, once they dropped me, I just went and lay down to breathe fresh air. So they said, was I wounded? I said, no, just leave me alone, I'm not wounded. The only problem is that because of AK-47 sound, any noise became a problem for me. Do you know when Dr. Faramina put me at the back seat, they banged the door, I shouted because it was, so I didn't like noise at that time. Then Venerable Vatipa drove the jeep with broken glass. Then Dr. Faremi carried me in his car at the back. Before we got to Kaba, the Bishop of Kaba had already arranged for the General Hospital to admit me. So he came. And then there I took bath. They washed me for the past 1 week. No bath, nothing. Then again, in fact, I've just seen the t-shirt they bought for me because there was nothing. Everything was dirty. So when they took me out, we stayed in Kaba General Hospital for 2 days just to stabilize. So when we stabilized, then the journey to Offa began. Now, Olalomi Hospital Offa, if they brought me there, Offa, and my family and everybody in church, they won't let me rest. Because if they say he's sleeping, they say, Motilemiwa Onsu, I want to see him. Offa people are very, very stubborn. So what they did was not to put me in Olalomi, but the owner of Olalomi Hospital has another one in Okuku. So we went to Okuku. I stayed there. And he used that his digital thing to know if anything, say everything was okay with me. So, but I had pain on the leg. So the second day, they now carried me from Okuku straight to Ibadan Airport. And I've told Kaet, Christ Ambassador Evangelical on Akobo Road, they were at the airport to meet me. So from there I flew to Lagos. And from Lagos I stayed with my friend in Lagos. But staying with him, himself and wife went to work at 10. They won't come back till 8. So I had nobody to speak to till nothing. So I couldn't talk again. And then because I didn't eat and there was no movement, I had terrible constipation. I had to be shouting and begging God so that something can come out. It was terrible, very terrible. I thought I was going to pass away. I did everything. So then when they serve food, I've lost appetite. My brain, the hunger center has turned off. I was no longer hungry. So, but I thank God, but the treatment of the toe became the problem. Because the bone broke and was bent right. So I think the doctor said the best thing would be to cut off the bone and join the flesh and sew it together. So they cut the bone, then moved it and sewed it. That's why my third toe on my right foot is shorter than the normal. So, but I thank God, it was a good experience. And anywhere I preach, I say, look, personal relationship with Jesus is very important because it will keep you up, give you hope, give you faith, give you love wherever you find yourself. Because we are doing too many congregational Christianity. I mean, there are so many in the church there that don't even know what it means to be born again. They don't know how to have a personal relationship with Christ. And praying quietly was no problem. Because in secondary school, I started reading Bible in 1952 and we were doing quiet time in the hostel. So if everybody was speaking and making noise, the hostel would be in trouble. So the quiet time from the scripture union notes helped me. And then in my heart, while there, I was singing some of my songs. That songbook you saw with 75 songs, those are the songs that kept me up when I was a young man. So I compiled it when I was 75, and that's why we have that hymn book. So I thank God I came back alive. Somebody else paid 40 million and they still killed him. So it's grace that I enjoy so far.
Thank you very much, sir.